Of Isis, you're going to all hear and love it. Isis, she was married to a king, and his name was Osiris. Osiris was so much loved by his nation, and he had justice everywhere and prosperity in Egypt. Osiris had a brother, and his name was Seth. Seth hated his brother, and he wanted to take his place and to become the king of Egypt. Seth built a casket. He made it out of a pure solid gold and jewelry. And he built it to fit the size of his brother, Osiris. And he invited him to celebrate that night. And he was playing a game with his brother that everyone fits in the casket can keep it. So Osiris got in the casket. His brother Seth attacked him, locked him in, and he dropped the casket in the river. And he drowned. Isis, she never gave it up, and she was looking for the body everywhere in Egypt until she found it somewhere by the delta. Seth would not, the delta, the branches of the Nile.
Okay.
That's the delta.
Okay.
So Seth did not allow her to keep the body. He stole the body, he chopped the body into pieces, and he scattered the organs everywhere in Egypt. Isis never gave up. And she was looking for the pieces everywhere, and she put them back together. And then she became a pigeon, and she was flying on the top of his body back and forth. And she could bring him alive again, and she could come pregnant with him. And then when he was awake, he didn't want to be the king of this world anymore, so he had decided to go back to the underworld. Isis, she was hiding in the delta. She gave birth to a boy, and his name was Horus, or Horus. Horus grew up, and then she went to confront Seth. And they went to the gods and the goddesses to complain what Seth done to his brother and killed him. So they condemned him, and they have sent him to the underworld, and they have appointed Horus the king of Egypt. The interesting thing about that story, that when she lost her husband, she was so desperate and sad, and she started crying, and her tears came out heavily from her eyes, and the Nile River came. Look at the way women love their husbands in those days. You can never find a woman like this.
No, we're like that. Filipino wife like that.
Yeah, they always let us carry all the shopping.